Do you want to run the ultimate Disney princess and befriend all the beasts and birds of the forest? Then Tawnos the Toymaker might be the commander for you. But first, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tawnos the Toymaker reads 3 a green, a blue, legendary creature, human artificer. Whenever you cast a beast or bird creature spell, you may copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to its other types. 3/5. So in this deck, we're going to play a ton of beasts, a few good birds, and some spice. Let's start off with those beasts. Broodstar is 8 blue for a creature type beast, affinity for artifacts. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control with flying, and Broodstar's power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifacts you control. Since every creature token we make is an artifact in addition to its other types, this can get out of hand pretty fast in the late game. Craterhoof Behemoth is 5 green, creature type beast with haste. When Craterhoof Behemoth enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. This can just end the game on the spot, even if you only have a few creatures on hand. For example, if you only have 4 creatures out when you play this, you still get +10/+10. Fangren Firstborn is 1 green, creature type beast. When Fangren Firstborn attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature for 2. This is slower than Craterhoof by a wide margin, but the permanent growth of power and toughness makes this better for a long game. Elder Gargaroth is 3 green, creature type beast. Vigilance, reach, trample. Whenever Elder Gargaroth attacks or blocks, choose 1. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. You gain 3 life, draw a card, 6/6. It slices, it disincentivizes opponents' attacks. All in all, sweet card. Garruk's Horde is 5 green, creature type beast. Trample, play with the top card of your library or revealed. You may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature card, 7/7. This is a bit pricey mono-wise, but not running out of gas is amazing, and something we want to avoid as much as possible in this deck. Being able to cast creatures off the top of our deck is a great way to achieve this. Garruk's Pack Leader is 4 green for a creature type beast. Whenever another creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card, 4/4. Spoiler alert, we run a lot of creatures with power 3 or greater, so this will trigger relatively often. And with a duplicate on the battlefield, 1 creature equals 2 cards. Krosan Warchief is 2 green for a creature type beast. Beast spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. 1 green, regenerate target beast, 2/2. This is a beast tribal card. Our beasts are cheaper, and we get to regenerate beasts. What more could you ask for? Manglehorn is 2 green for a creature type beast. When Manglehorn enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact. Artifacts your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, 2/2. Destroying artifacts is good, and stopping artifact combos dead in their tracks from comboing off out of nowhere is real good. Plax Manta is 1 blue for a creature type beast. Flash, when Plax Manta enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain Shroud until end of turn. They can't be the targets of spells or abilities. When Plax Manta enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless green was spent to cast it, 2/2. This doesn't really matter that we double it, since double Shroud doesn't do double duty, but giving all of our dudes Shroud for the turn is real strong. Gravesifter is 5 green for a creature type elemental beast. When Gravesifter enters the battlefield, each player chooses a creature type and returns any number of cards of that type from his or her graveyard to his or her hand. So with Tawnos on the battlefield, this means we get back all of our beasts and all of our birds that we will be covering eventually. But if we have to pick one, check your grave and see what's more impactful, but more often than not, it's going to be the beasts. Rampaging Baloths is 4 green for a creature type beast with trample and landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may create a 4/4 green beast creature token, 6/6. 2 4/4s off of each land we play. I don't need to tell you why that's good, right? It's just real good. Thragtusk is 4 green for a creature type beast. When Thragtusk enters the battlefield, gain 5 life. When Thragtusk leaves the battlefield, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Swagtusk, the old menace of Standard. Double life gain can be real sweet since it jumps us back into the game by 10 life, and it's glued to a real good body. Thunderfoot Baloth is 4 green for a creature type beast with trample and lieutenant. As long as you control your commander, Thunderfoot Baloth gets +2/+2, and other creatures you control get +2/+2 and have trample. +4/+4 just for having our commander out is a pretty sweet deal, especially since it's all of our creatures. Wirewood Savage is 2 green for a creature type elf. Whenever a beast enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. While not a beast themselves, this card is pretty obvious of an auto-include. It says beast on the card. I mean, look at it. It says beast. Trigon Predator is 1 green and a blue for a creature type beast with flying. When Trigon Predator deals combat damage to a player, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls, 2/3. Destroying enchantments and artifacts is something that is really good on repeat. Sure, we have to hit an opponent to make it happen, but flying makes that much more realistic. Next, we have all the tribal synergy cards we run. Important thing to note, with these is that we only get to target 1 creature type with these. Unless for some reason we have all of our birds in the deck out at the same time, our best option is going to be choosing beasts. Distant Melody is 3 blue for a sorcery. Choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. Drawing cards. While I wish this was instant speed so we could do it in response to a board wipe, having the ability at all is still really strong. Kindred Summons is 5 green for an instant. Choose a creature type, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of that type. Put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle the rest of the revealed cards into your library. Holy moly, imagine getting Crater of Behemoth off this. It's amazing, just so good. Please give me more of this. Kindred Discovery is 3 blue for an enchantment. As Kindred Discovery enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. When a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. We like attacking with beasts and we like drawing cards. Put 2 and 2 together and you get a sweet card draw engine. Now it's time for birds. We don't really run a ton of birds in this, mostly just birds that are impactful on their own, so we can get some free value off of our creatures. Birds of Paradise is 1 green for a creature type bird, flying, tap, add 1 mana of any color, 0/1. This will usually come down early, so we don't get a token copy of it, but if we do, it makes for a great attacker in conjunction with multiple pump spells. Gilded Goose is 1 green for a creature type bird with flying. When Gilded Goose enters the battlefield, create a food token. It's an artifact with 2 tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. 1 and a green, tap, create a food token. Tap, sacrifice a food, add 1 mana of any color. Everything true about Birds of Paradise is true here, but with the added benefit of being able to make food tokens if we need to pad out our life total. Curiosity Crafter is 3 and a blue for a creature type bird wizard. Flying, you have no maximum hand size. Whenever a creature token you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This works super well here since we're going to have tokens of basically all of our creatures. The no maximum hand size can get out of hand real fast. Ha. Okay, I'll see myself out. Keeper of the Nine Gales is 2 and a blue for a creature type bird wizard with flying. Tap 2 untap birds you control, return target permanent to its owner's hand, 1/2. This seems kind of bad on the surface since it's tapping 3 of your own creatures just to bounce something, but there are 2 important parts of this card. 1, it doesn't say opponents, and 2, it doesn't say non-land. This means we can bounce our own creatures into our hands to replay them for extra value, or bounce our opponent's most threatening land. Looking at you, Gaia's Cradle. River Hoopoe is a green and a blue for a creature type bird with a hilarious name. Flying, 3 green-blue, you gain 2 life and draw a card, 1/3. This is neat. It's just a good card to have late game when you have a ton of mana and nothing to do with it. Ledger Shredder is 1 and a blue for a creature type bird advisor. Flying, whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Ledger Shredder connives. Draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, 1/3. I would consider cutting this first if you need to make cuts, since at the time of recording it's $20. It triggers off of our opponent's casting spells, which is really interesting way to tax them on that, and it can get big on its own. Really cool card, but not necessary. Now, let's get to the spice I talked about. Tawnos the Toymaker makes us copies of creature spells we cast. Since it cares about us casting them rather than when they enter the battlefield, this means we can do some mutate shenanigans. Gemraiser is 3 and a green for a creature type beast with mutate, 1 green. If you cast this spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top, plus all abilities from under it. Reach Trample, whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls, 4/4. Important note is that if we mutate a creature and have a copy of the mutated creature also attached to the original creature, it means that any abilities that trigger off of mutate will trigger twice. Basically, we double up on all of our mutation triggers and abilities. Trumpeting Gnar is 1 green-blue, creature type beast with mutate, 3 hybrid green-blue. Whenever this creature mutates, create a 3/3 green beast creature token, 3/3. 3/3s are much better than they look sometimes, especially if you get a ton of them, for free. Sawtusk Demolisher is 4 green, creature type beast with mutate, 3 and a green, trample. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target non-creature permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. This says non-creature permanent, so say goodbye to your opponent's Gaia's Cradle. Again. Partial Beast is 2 a green and a blue, creature type elemental beast, mutate green and a blue, pay 1, tap, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put that card onto the battlefield, put it into your hand, 2/4. The ability on this one isn't great, but what is great is being able to double trigger the mutate ability for only 2 mana. Migratory Greathorn is 3 and a green for a creature type beast with mutate, 2 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library, 3/4. Land ramp is always good, especially since it helps get clumps of lands out of our deck. Auspicious Sterix is 4 and a green, creature type elk beast, mutate, 5 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, exile all cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Put those permanent cards onto the battlefield 6/6. And the piece de resistance? This is why we run Mutate. Just cheating a bunch of our massive beast out can be devastating, especially when we double it. And that's it. That's the deck. Did I miss anything? If so, let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, why not give it a like? And if you really like this video, you can always subscribe to my Patreon or even just my channel here. Either way, thank you for watching till the end, and I hope you have a wonderful day.